Hi, I'm Jennifer, and this is the true story of how my life, my marriage, and my neighbor all changed forever. When I was 23, I was already married. I was a beautiful young woman, full of life and laughter. My husband was a very good man, honest, kind, and incredibly hard-working, but he was also very, very poor. We didn't own a fancy house or expensive things. We lived in a simple cottage with a thatched roof, and our meals were modest. But you know what? We never argued. Not once. He loved me with all his heart, and I loved him just as deeply. Because of that love, we were truly happy. Life was peaceful, and we felt rich in the only way that matters. Until everything changed. Our neighbor was the wealthiest man in the area, powerful, arrogant, and extremely handsome in a cold, flashy way. He didn't just have a house, he owned a grand mansion. As soon as he saw me one afternoon, walking in our small garden, he decided he had to have me. He fell in love with me instantly, or rather, he fell in love with possessing me. He decided he wanted to marry me. So began the torment. Every single day, while my husband was out sweating in the fields from dawn until dusk, the rich man would arrive at our humble home. He didn't come to talk, he just came to look at me, with predatory, demanding eyes. He always started the same conversation. "You are a stunning woman, Jennifer," he would say, his voice silky and manipulative. "A real jewel. But look at your clothes. They are old, faded, and ugly. Is this how a beautiful woman should live? Why doesn't your husband buy you new, pretty dresses?" Then he'd look at me as if he felt sorry for me. "I'm sure he doesn't really love you. If he loved you, he would give you wonderful things to make you shine. Leave him. Divorce that poor man and marry me instead. I will shower you with beautiful new clothes from the finest tailors." At first, I didn't listen to him. I ignored his visits and didn't reply. I loved my husband, and I knew how hard he worked. But the rich man was relentless. He came every single day and whispered the same poisonous thoughts over and over and over. Finally, despite myself, the doubt started to grow. I began to look at my reflection and my old clothes with new eyes. Maybe my neighbor is right? I thought. Why hasn't my husband ever bought me new clothes? Did that mean he didn't truly love me? I was young and naive. That night, I confronted my husband when he returned, exhausted, from the field. "Look at me, husband," I demanded, pulling at my worn dress. "My clothes are ancient and ugly. I want new ones. Buy me a new dress." My husband didn't get angry. He just smiled at me with genuine warmth, his tired eyes soft. He gently said, "You don't need new clothes, my darling. In my eyes, you are the most beautiful woman in the whole world, no matter what you wear." But his answer didn't satisfy me. I was angry, my mind full of the neighbor's words. I snapped, "Do you even love me? If you really loved me, you would buy me a new dress to prove it." Because my husband did love me more than anything else, he desperately wanted to make me happy. He went outside and looked into his small purse. He thought, I have only a tiny amount of money left, and I was going to use it to buy a new plow for the fields. Without it, the work will be much harder. But I want my dear wife to be happy. Her smile is worth more than a plow. So the very next morning, before the sun was high, he went to the market and spent his essential money on a beautiful new dress for me. It was lovely. I was overjoyed. I rushed to him and told him, "Thank you. Thank you, my dear husband. Now I know that you truly love me. When the rich man arrived later that day, I was beaming, wearing my new dress proudly. I told him triumphantly, "You see? My husband loves me very much. He bought me this beautiful new dress." The rich man just laughed, a cold, harsh sound. "A new dress? That's all?" he sneered. "A husband who loves his wife doesn't just give her clothes. He gives her gold. Where is your gold necklace? Where are your gold rings? Why doesn't your husband give you those?" Then, with a dramatic flourish, he opened a spectacular, shimmering wooden box and showed me spectacular, dazzling gold jewelry set with sparkling gems. My eyes widened in shock. He said, "Look at these, Jennifer. Imagine wearing them. Divorce your husband and marry me, and I will give all this to you, and so much more." This time, I was strong. The love for my husband surged. I stood tall and said firmly, "Go away. I love my husband, he loves me, and we are happy together. I don't need your gold." But he didn't go away. The rich man came back every single day, showing me that glowing box of jewelry, tempting me with a life I had never known. And every single day, the question twisted in my mind, maybe he's right. Why won't my husband buy me gold? Doesn't he love me enough to give me jewelry? One day, the anger and sadness completely overwhelmed me. I was so upset that I didn't even cook dinner. My husband came home extremely late, his body aching, his face covered in dirt, so tired and starving he could barely stand. He looked at the empty table. "What's wrong, my darling?" he asked, concerned. "There's no dinner for you tonight," I told him, looking away. "You don't love me." "What?" my husband cried, completely shocked and hurt. "But my darling, I love you more than anything in this life. You are the most wonderful person in the whole world to me." I turned to him. "Then why don't you buy me some gold jewelry? When a man loves his wife, he gives her a gold necklace and rings to show the world." My husband looked absolutely crushed. He went outside and sat in the dark. He thought, "I already spent all my money on her new dress. Where can I possibly find money for gold? The only person I can ask is my brother, but I will have to do something in return. Perhaps he will lend me the money. I must get gold for my dear wife to make her happy, no matter what it takes." The very next day, my husband made the long journey to visit his brother. He begged, "Please, brother, lend me some money. I need to buy something for my wife. I will work in your field to pay you back." His brother, a stern and practical man, agreed, but with a condition: "All right, I will lend you the money. But you must work very, very hard. My field is full of massive, heavy stones, and you must move every single one of them away before you are finished." My husband agreed immediately, relieved. He took the money, ran all the way to the market, and bought the most beautiful gold jewelry he could afford, a delicate necklace and 2 shimmering rings. When he gave them to me, I was ecstatic. I put the necklace around my neck and the rings on my fingers and danced. I asked, "Look at me, husband. Am I not the most beautiful woman you have ever seen?" "You're very beautiful," my husband smiled, but his face showed his exhaustion and stress. "If you are happy, then I am happy too." I hugged him tight. "Thank you, my dear husband. Now I really know you love me." The next morning, my husband left the house while it was still dark. He didn't go to our fields, he ran to his brother's stone-filled field and began the back-breaking work, determined to pay off his debt as quickly as possible. I was happily at home making him a delicious, special dinner with extra effort. Suddenly, a voice called out from the garden, "Hello! Are you there?" I went outside and saw my rich neighbor standing there, smirk on his face. I was so proud. I said, "Ah, it's you. Listen, neighbor. You were wrong about my husband. Look at what he bought me yesterday." I held up my hands to show him the rings and touched the necklace. "He loves me very, very much, and I love him. I will not divorce him. I will never marry you. Now, leave us alone." The rich man was shocked and genuinely worried. He realized, her husband loves her too much. Clothes, jewelry, he's given her everything. If I want her, I have to be extremely clever and find something her husband cannot do. Finally, he smiled a dark, knowing smile. "Your husband gave you clothes and jewelry, Jennifer, but I can give you much more than that. Something priceless. Tell me, can your husband make miracles?" "Miracles?" I asked, completely confused. "No, of course not. What a ridiculous question. Only God can make miracles. Ordinary men cannot do that." "But I can," the man declared, leaning closer, his voice dropping to a theatrical whisper. "Because I love you, and love itself is powerful enough to make miracles. If your husband truly loved you as much as I do, he would be able to make miracles for you too. If you love me, I will prove my love with a real miracle." I stared at him, my curiosity piqued despite myself. "Make a miracle for me right now," I demanded. "I can't yet," the rich man smirked, his plan unfolding. "First, you must prove your love to me. You must promise to love me, you must leave your husband, and you must come to my mansion. Only then will I show you wonderful, true miracles." I didn't say anything, my mind whirling with confusion and the temptation of something impossible. The rich man finally left, leaving me with those dangerous words. That night, my poor husband came home much later than usual, utterly defeated. His hands were raw, his back was stiff, and he was starving. I brought him fresh water to wash with and the delicious, special meal I had prepared. He ate quickly, barely speaking. Looking at him, my heart filled with guilt. My poor husband. He works so hard, and he is always so tired and hungry, just to give me these rings. That rich man is a fool. How could my husband make a miracle? It's impossible. I am a terrible wife for even thinking about it. But the very next day, the rich man came back with the same taunting smile. "Did your husband make a miracle for you yet?" And day after day, he asked the same question. And every day, despite my guilt, I began to wonder. What if he could make miracles? Wouldn't that be the ultimate proof of love? One day when my husband finally returned, I was incredibly sad, tears streaming down my face. He noticed immediately. "Wife, dear wife, what is wrong? Are you sick? Has something terrible happened?" "No," I sighed, looking at my hands. "I'm sad because you do not love me." My husband was completely stunned. "What? But you know I love you more than life. I bought you new clothes. I bought you gold jewelry when I had no money." I whispered, "But you don't make miracles for me." My poor husband was completely shocked. He stared at me. "Miracles? Of course I can't make miracles. I am a farmer, not a god. Why do you even want a miracle? Who gave you this crazy idea? Our neighbor came to see me today, I admitted, unable to keep the secret any longer. He said love makes miracles possible. He said if a man truly loves a woman, he will make miracles for her to show her how special she is. My husband realized exactly what was happening, and fury filled his tired eyes. That wicked man is trying to steal my wife. First new clothes, then gold jewelry, and now miracles, it's all because of him. What will I do if I can't make a miracle? This is his cleverest plan yet. My wife will leave me and marry him. My husband sat alone in the field and prayed, "Oh God, please help me to make a miracle. I love my wife with all my heart and I want to keep her. Don't let this rich, wicked man take her away from me. Show me a way." That afternoon, too upset to work, he sat sadly under a large, ancient tree on the edge of the field. He was surprised to find another man already sitting in the shade. The man looked mysterious, with wise eyes and simple robes. "Who are you?" my husband asked. "I am a wizard," the man replied calmly, with a gentle smile. "And I have a gift for you. I have been watching you and your struggles. Look, here are 2 sticks. They can make miracles." "Miracles? What kind of miracles?" my husband asked, his heart hammering against his ribs. "If you touch a person with this first stick," the wizard explained, showing him a dark, rough stick, "they will immediately become a donkey. If you touch them with this second stick," he showed a light, smooth stick, "they will become a person again." My husband instantly thought of his rich neighbor and smiled for the first time in weeks. He eagerly grabbed the sticks. "Oh, thank you, my friend. I prayed to God, and He sent you to me in my time of need. Now I can keep my wife and punish my enemy." My husband ran home as fast as his tired legs could carry him, holding the sticks close. "Wife, come here. Quickly. I'm going to make a miracle." "A miracle? What miracle?" I asked, running out of the house, my heart racing. "Look," he said, and instantly touched me with the first, dark stick. In the blink of an eye, my entire world turned grey and the cottage seemed much larger. I had turned into a donkey. I was horrified. I tried to speak, tried to scream "What have you done?" but only a loud, terrifying hee-haw exploded from my mouth. I was terrified and confused. Then, my husband immediately touched me with the other, smooth stick, and instantly I was a woman again, my heart pounding in my chest. "Husband!" I gasped, completely breathless. "That's incredible! It's a real miracle! I was a donkey. How did you do it?" "I prayed to God, and He helped me," my husband explained, not smiling now. "And now, wife, I am going to punish my enemy." "Your enemy? Who is that?" I asked, though I already suspected the answer. My husband looked straight into my eyes, his face completely serious and stern. "You know my enemy," he said with absolute conviction. "It's our rich neighbor. He comes here while I'm working hard in the fields and fills your head with these bad ideas, trying to steal you away. Am I right? And did you listen to him? Did you let him put these thoughts in your mind?" I couldn't look him in the eye. I was so incredibly ashamed. Tears filled my eyes, and I whispered, "I'm sorry. It's true. He said all those things. He said you didn't love me because you were poor. He wanted me to divorce you and marry him." "And did you want to divorce me and marry him?" my husband asked softly, his voice full of pain. I looked up at him, my tears spilling over. No, dear husband. I want to stay with you forever, and I promise, I will never listen to him or any other man again. I was so foolish. My husband smiled a gentle smile of forgiveness. Then take this stick, he said, handing me the first, rough stick, but quickly hiding the second one. When he comes back tomorrow, and you will know what to do, touch him with it. The next day, my husband went off to his hard work in his brother's field as usual. Soon, the rich man arrived at my house, wearing his finest, most expensive gold robes and a confident smirk on his face. He said, "Well, Jennifer, can your pathetic husband make miracles yet?" "Yes," I said, with a wide, triumphant smile. And before he could even react, I touched him with the first stick. In an instant, the rich man, with all his fancy clothes and expensive rings, transformed into a large, clumsy, braying donkey. I laughed, a sound of pure joy. "Now, you rich donkey, you can finally do some real work and help my dear, hard-working husband." From that day on, my husband gave that neighbor donkey many heavy loads of stones to carry in the fields. For years and years, the donkey worked tirelessly, sweating and straining. Because of this extra help, my husband was no longer poor and was becoming quite rich himself, with a fine house and plenty of food. One day, many years later, my husband looked at the donkey. It was very old, very tired, and its once predatory eyes were now glazed with exhaustion. It stood very still, unable to move another muscle. My husband felt a moment of pity for the old, broken creature. He went into our beautiful house and brought out the secret second stick that he had kept hidden for so long. He touched the old donkey with it, and instantly the rich man was standing there again. But he was no longer a handsome, strong young man. He was ancient, his body was bent from years of hard labor, his face was covered in deep wrinkles, and his expensive clothes were in rags. He looked pathetic. "You tried to take my wife away from me," my husband told him firmly, looking at the broken man. "That was wrong. Now, you know the true meaning of hard work. Go home now, if you still have one. And never look at another man's wife again." The broken rich man slowly and painfully went away, disappearing into the distance, and he never came back again. My husband and I lived very, very happily together for many more years, our love stronger than ever. If you liked this incredible, true story, please hit that like button, leave a comment below to tell me what you thought, share it with all your friends, and subscribe for more amazing stories.